Hi my friends, welcome back to the new year, first tutorial of the new year for Patreon. I'd like to welcome you all. We have a couple of newcomers. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you enjoy the extra tutorials on Patreon as well. Thank you so much for your support, I really appreciate that. Right, my first tutorial is going to be a beautiful seascape, and there's a big wave splashing against a big rock and splash going right up into the sky, so something really dramatic. Alright, I hope it turns out well. I'm apprehensive, but I think we will learn a couple of nice techniques along the way, and we will not necessarily keep it simple, but keep it nice and straightforward for beginners. So this is something which a beginner can try, but it will be really dramatic. Okay, there won't be a huge amount of detail in it, but we're going to learn a lot of techniques. So techniques with the brush, okay? Not so much detail. The detail will come with the techniques, if you know what I mean, if you understand. So yes, we're going to do a lovely seascape this week on Patreon. So thank you so much for joining me. I hope you like this. I hope you've all had a wonderful, wonderful New Year and a wonderful Christmas. I hope you've all had lots of presents of paints and brushes and canvases and all that kind of wonderful stuff. So look, I'm going to turn the camera around here and show you what I have, alright? Now, I have a 16 by 20 canvas, a nice big canvas. And that will allow us to take our time, do some nice detail. It may be a two-part tutorial, I'm not too sure yet. We'll see how we go. I reckon it might have to be a two-part because I want to take my time. So now, I have a paper palette. It's a tearaway palette, and I'll show you the book. Look, it's just a little book of palette, paper palette, and there's lots of different pages in this. There's like 100 pages. You just tear them out. Tear that out, tape it up to your board or wherever it is you're painting, and away you go. Okay, now my colours. I have titanium white, Naples yellow, cadmium yellow pale, just a little. I have some that's black, just regular black, any black you have will do fine. Some burnt umber, some phthalo blue there, just a tiny little dot of phthalo blue. We have crimson, that's alizarin crimson, and cadmium red. And look, I have lots of big tubes of colour here next to me in case I need to pick some up, and I have a little big box full of colours here. This is my wooden palette. I use this as well when I'm not doing tutorials. I love using a wooden palette, but that's not practical for tutorials because there's just paint everywhere, you see? It's all over the place. So it's very difficult to do a tutorial with a palette like this. Okay, it's just a regular timber palette, that's all, see? Here's what I've been working on last night. I was in home last night. This is my box, by the way. It's just a regular little box. I made this myself because I'm handy with the old bits of timber and the handsaw and the drill. So I just made this myself, this little box. And that's a little robin redbreast I was working on last night. That'll be a nice tutorial, I suppose, one time. Let me know what you think. A nice little robin in the snow sitting on a branch. Yeah, so that's it. That is it. Oh, this is the painting for the winner. It's pretty much dry. This is for Andrea. Now she said she's coming over to Cork in June, sometime in June, so we can meet up then, and I can give her the painting along with all the other little gifts that are with it. So I'm looking forward to that. That turned out lovely, didn't it? Look at that, that's gorgeous. That's really, really gorgeous. I'm very proud of that. That's one of my favourites, I think, so far. Okay, that's my setup. Lots of little brushes, stubby brushes especially, but lots of flat brushes and lots of knives there. You can see a couple of palette knives. I have some tissue with some turpentine, just a little. This is my turpentine here actually. Now this is, you can see it's a bit yellowy. This is regular turpentine, look, pure turpentine for artists, and I added in a little bit of linseed oil. Now I'll show you the linseed oil. It's just regular linseed oil, okay? You can see a jar of it here. It says it on the cap. Just a little, maybe, I suppose, a tablespoon of that into a small bottle of turpentine, and that gives it a nice oily feel, and it helps the paint flow around the canvas wonderfully. So that's it. I'm going to get set up here with my camera and let's do some painting and have a bit of fun. Okay? Don't go anywhere, my friends. This is going to be... Okay, here we go. There's the photograph now. Isn't that splendid? Now, I know the spray sort of almost disappears into the sky, but I might make the sky a little darker, okay? And we can just put lovely white spray then up into the sky, turning in both directions, yes? How about that? Now, pencils at the ready. I'm just going to do a very quick sketch of the rock. Now, I can see the water kind of breaks around the front somewhere there, doesn't it? And it comes across at an angle like that. We have a little kind of a wave then that sort of breaks over here in front. That looks lovely. And then we can start our rock. Now I'll go with the rock, say around here, and it comes in like that and goes back. It's a very big kind of a rock, isn't it? And then the splash starts off, let's go around here roughly with the splash, and that's coming down like this, like so, yes? And we can see where the back of the wave kind of goes down like that, doesn't it? So that's kind of basically all we need to draw. Perhaps even just, you see where the greeny area is in the splash. We could perhaps draw some of that as well, just so we can keep that area clean for our greens later. Let's put in this quick little sketch of this rock. Okay, okay, it comes down like that, and the splash then just comes along over it like that. So everything that's above this now will just be the sky. Is that alright? And we'll have lots of bright splash then coming up into the sky as well. So I think this is going to be wonderful. Now you could even, if you wanted to, sketch in roughly where you think your splash would be kind of coming across. And we'll have a little bit like that. So that's kind of just a rough general outline of what we need. Yes? How's that? I might bring the rock up a little bit more, just a little bit more of a curve on it. And yeah, I think I'm happy enough. I'm happy enough with that. This will be in shade in here, just so we know. Okay, we are ready. Now I have my turpentine in my glass. I am going to take my large stubby brush. Now where is it gone? You see, that's the trouble. Oh yeah, there it is. You put things down and you can't find them. Now I'm going to keep the sky nice and subtle in this, but as I said earlier, I do want to make it that little bit darker. Now I'm just going to clean my brush here because there's a bit of green on my stubby brush, which is not good if I'm painting a seascape like this. I'll dampen my brush with some turpentine and give it a dab on some tissue. And let's go in now to the sky colour. Let's take some phthalo blue, and I'm thinking just a little black, alright? I like to keep it just simple. Phthalo blue and black will give us a nice bluey grey kind of a colour, similar to what's in that sky, alright? Perhaps a touch of brown, a hit more blue. And actually what I'm going to do with this canvas is, because it's a little bit on the dry side, just a little, only a touch. What I'm going to do is, I'm going to take my bottle of linseed oil and turpentine, which is mixed. I'm going to just dab that on some tissue, and I'm going to run it just around on my sky, just like that, just very quickly. Give it a quick rub, and all I'm doing is just dampening the canvas, that's all. So it's, I suppose you could compare this to putting on kind of a clear coat or something. What you might see on a kind of maybe a Bob Ross kind of a painting or something. But this is just turps and linseed oil mixed in, nothing else. And all that will do is give me a nice base, kind of a nice wet, well not so much wet, because it's drying in fairly quick already. But it will take the dryness out of the canvas and it will help the paint move around that little better. See, look at that. It helps the paint move around just a little. And I go right across with this now. And by the way, I'll be framing this now and I'll be hanging it in the restaurant as well. So I'll show you when it's all framed and hanging as well, when I get a chance to make a frame, that is. Excuse me. I have an awful tickle in my throat for the past couple of weeks and it just won't go away. No matter what I do, no matter what I take, no matter what medications I try, nothing is helping. Now, my wife does light a lot of candles around the house. Yankee candles they're called. You know what they are. She doesn't like lighting a lot of those. So it could be something to do with that. I hope not, but it could be a constant kind of a dry tickle in your throat. I don't know. I was a smoker for 10 years, believe it or not. I gave up 10 years ago, but I was a smoker. But that should be long gone by now, shouldn't it? Now, as it comes down, I'm going to add some white just around here, just to create some cloud. I'm going to go up, we're going to leave this outline of our nice splash, and then when it comes down around the splash, I'm going to darken it again, alright? So I'm going to go into some black, a little blue, some white again, because I don't want it too dark. I'm keep adding white though because I don't want to go too dark with this, alright? I don't want to go too dark. And just around, let's say around here, look. I'm going to soften some of that darker colour up into the sky, like so. So now we have this nice deep dark colour in the background, and this will be perfect now, you see, for our splash, won't it? And that will show off our wonderful little splash coming up into the sky. Now what I'll do is, look, let's just soften it all the way. Let's just keep softening this now all the way up. So now we have a nice varying colour going from dark to light to dark, okay? And now my next step is, I want to add some cloud into this. Just a little bit of cloud here and there. Just a little dab. I'm going to take another brush, another little flat brush, okay? It's nice and worn. You could use a medium stubby brush for this, that would be perfect. I don't know if I have one to hand, actually. No, I don't. I must go and buy some stubby brushes because I'm running out. So, a nice medium brush, okay? Let's just go right into some white, because it's just white is in this sky. Grain of white. There's no fancy pinks or yellows or anything like that. It's just a grain of white kind of a colour. And let's just go along and let's just kind of dot it around here and there. You see? Just dot it around, a little bit of white on your brush. Let's get some little bits of white going on it, this side here. Okay, you see? Just like that. And we can have a little bit over there. Very simple to do now, it's just dabbing with a brush, dab. And let's go along here with some lighter colour. So imagine there's a little bit of clearing off in the distance. Okay, like so. And let me just soften some in over here. I'm just going around in little circles now with my brush, that's all I'm doing. And let's lighten some of those just a little. It's just kind of a bit of cloud dotted around, that's all it is, that's the only way I can explain it, you know what I mean? Like little bits of puffy cloud just sort of dotted around here and there up in the sky. No big deal. Soften some of them in with your brush. And you can leave others. So how's that? It's just a subtle sky, nothing very fancy. Perhaps even, so they don't look separate, we could even come down into the dark just a little bit as well. just to kind of bring it together, to tie that up into the rest of the sky, yes? So it's not, it doesn't look then like a completely separate area, if you know what I mean. But you can interpret this yourself to whatever you like. You can make it up yourself and put your own colours in there if you like. It's up to yourself. Now, I think that's fairly good. Yeah, I'm fairly happy with that. I might just soften a little bit just there. Just graduate it a little bit better. Wouldn't you agree? There we are. That's probably a bit nicer now. Right, that is our sky. Done. Finito, finished. Next thing I want to concentrate now on is the green in here. Because I want to keep that colour nice and clean. I want a nice clean finish inside there. So I'm going to move out to a slightly smaller brush. Let me see. This one will do fine. It's number 10 flat. And these are all synthetics, okay? I'm going to make a nice rich turquoisey colour for this. I'm going to try, okay, emphasising the word try. I'm going to try some cadmium yellow, some phthalo blue, and a little white. And I'm constantly looking at the photograph. Okay, a bit more blue, it needs more blue, and more white. You could probably even just use blue and white with a hint of yellow, but you know, I want this lovely greeny colour to stand out. I don't want it to be too soft and too sort of pastel. I want it nice and rich and bright. Now I have a colour here, let's try this. Perhaps a bit more white. So how's this now? How's this looking? And just fill this in roughly where our pencil lines are, okay, just roughly. Perhaps even take a hint of Naples yellow. Naples yellow is a lovely colour to mix, and it's a lovely creamy colour. Bring it across, and we come over here to this side, like so. Now I want to lighten. I want to really lighten over in this here, so where it comes down like this, just really bright over here. Okay, that's fine. And I also want to really lighten just in the middle of this, just very bright spots kind of around in here, like so. And also just around in here. But then there's some lovely dark spots as well. I'm going to move to a slightly smaller brush because this is a little bit too big for what I need. So I'm going to move to a slightly smaller brush. Let me see now if I can find a nice small flat brush. So that's what I need, a little flat brush. Yes, this one will do fine. This is a number 6, okay? Number 6 flat. I'm going to darken just with some blue and a hint of cadmium yellow. And I'm going to darken where it kind of comes down here. Now that's a bit too green, isn't it? I think a bit more blue in this. There, that's better. I'm going to darken just as it comes into the shadow, you see, of the rock. And I'm going to kind of flick it up then and soften it in, you see what I mean? Just like so. And also I might darken just around here as well. And basically I'm just looking at where the darks and the lights are. I'm not looking at the whole composition as one. What I'm doing is, now this is kind of tricky to do as you're learning to paint. You have to try and learn how to filter out everything else around it. So when you're looking at a photograph, you're just looking at the lights and the darks. You're not looking at shapes or anything. Well, you are looking at shapes, but the most important thing is to look at your lights and your darks. So right now I'm just looking at dark shades and where those dark shades are. Okay, that's all I'm looking at. So I can see, for example, here where it turns, there's a little bit of a dark colour on top there, isn't there? So I'm just going to literally turn my brush around and down, and that will simulate the curvature of the water then coming down, you see? That makes sense? And I know it is very, very bright there, isn't it? Perhaps let's take a little hint of white with Naples yellow, and just along where the light is catching it there, look. A little turn, just a little twist, here and there. Just a very light twist. And we could even soften that down to a fan brush as well. You could go right over that with a fan brush like this, just to create that little curve better. Okay? So it's all kind of, it's a work in progress, isn't it? Now, let's see, we do have some Naples yellow with some white in here. And it's very sort of, it's a very sort of hit and miss type of a technique in there, isn't it? It's just a kind of a dab of white here and there. It splashes of white. And okay, we have a little bit of light over here. You could even try adding a hint of yellow into this as well. That would really catch the brightness of it all. Let's try a dab of Naples yellow with white, and let's just try that in here. Softening it up again, remember? Don't forget, soften it up. And a little patch of it there. And I might even add a hint of cadmium yellow into that as well. Now it's not on the photograph, I know, but I just want to catch the dramatic kind of light that's going on in there. And I might even then with my fan brush sort of dab it together, look, very gently. Again, following the direction of that splash, so it's kind of coming up like this, you see. Now you don't have to do this, you can just keep this simple if you like, and just put in some lights with a little brush. Now let me just sit back for a second and take a quick look at this. Right, now we have some dark splash. Let's concentrate on the splash. Would you like me to zoom in, or would you like me not? I don't know, to be quite honest. I think we'll leave it as is just for now. So I'm moving on to my slightly larger brush again. I'm going to make up a nice mix. Hint of turpentine. And it's going to be more blue, so a hint of white, hint of blue, and perhaps even a hint of crimson. Look, let's just take a tiny hint of it. And I'm going to start off dark now with this shadow on the splash, you see. So I'm filling in the shadow on the splash now with this colour. I'm just kind of dabbing it and flicking it outwards, okay? It's just, for now, it's just because there is a lot of shadow on the splash here and there. I know you wouldn't think it, you know, an untrained eye would look at this and say, well, it's just lots of white splash everywhere, you know, and that's what I would have thought as well. But when you look closer and you really focus in and get close, you will see different colours. I can see bits of mauves, I can even see bits of pink here and there. Now it's taken me years to be able to spot these little things in a painting, years and years and years, but you will. You just have to kind of open your mind to the possibility that these colours can be in a painting. I know you may think, well, it's just water is white, but you know, it doesn't have to be just white. Now I've taken a hint of crimson, right? Hint of crimson and a hint of white. So you see what I'm doing then is, as the splash comes up, the shadow is going to lighten. Okay? It gets lighter and lighter and pinkier. So there's a lot more mauve-y colour in this now as it comes upwards. A little bit of crimson, a little bit of blue and a little bit of white. But I don't want to go too light with the colour, if you know what I mean. Let me just take that now and put plenty of white into that with a hint more blue. Now I do apologise, I have to jump forward a couple of minutes here because my camcorder again, for some reason, the last few minutes haven't recorded. It just stopped and refused to record. So it was just by sheer luck I managed to look at the screen and noticed it wasn't recording. So yeah, that's a problem I'm going to have to fix. I'm thinking maybe a new SD card might solve it. So, oh God, I don't know. Modern technology is just so unreliable, really. They say it's getting better, but it's actually getting worse. It's just so unreliable. Okay, I just added a little bit of purple, okay, in around the green that I just put on, and then I started adding some white to that. So lightening it as it was coming out like this, okay? So it's getting lighter and lighter and lighter. That's basically what I did. And I'm just going to come across here now. So I'm basically then going to just leave the really bright highlights until the very end. Alright? Now, I'm going to take a small round brush. Okay, a small round stubby brush like this. So a round synthetic. And I'm going to add a touch of dark. A touch of dark colour. I can see there's a lot of dark colour just in around here, like this. So I want to put that in, but the big brush is a bit too big, so I'm just going to use this and sort of wiggle it around here and there. See what I mean? Understand? So yeah, a little bit of that, like that, and soften it sort of out. Again, just look at where the darks and lights are falling. That's all you have to do, okay? Just take a look and see with the darks. So I know this is a bit strong, but I can see on the photograph it is quite strong here and there. So I'll start off with a darker colour, and I can always lighten it then if I need to, do you know what I mean? Let's add a hint of yellow into that to make a nice green. So now, how's that looking? Perhaps even a hint of black. Just a hint here and there, look. Okay? Now what I'm going to do is go back to my smaller flat brush, and I'm going to add some very bright colours just in there. So I'm thinking Naples yellow with cadmium yellow and a little white, okay? I just want to really catch the sunlight sort of hitting that wave in there. That's what I just want to catch that. And there's a little bit over here. Okay, and that's a wonderful colour for doing this type of thing. Naples yellow with cadmium yellow and a little white. And not to worry now, I will be softening a lot of this together as well. So not to worry, it's still the very, very early stages we are in here. So a little bit of white now, a little dab of white on top of that, here and there. And a little of it there. Notice how I'm bringing all my brushes at a slight curve, okay, because they will sort of curve slightly following the wave. And what I'm going to do next now is look, with a little bit of white, I'm just softening all of these in together here. We go round in circles. clean the brush every now and again, take a bit more white. Now we can really go to town with this one over here because this is very white, isn't it? So I'm going to really soften that across. And I'm basically just, see, going around in little circles, that's all I'm doing. Again, clean the brush. Keep your brush clean, that's very important. Because that's how you sort of keep your colours nice and fresh. You understand? Now soften down into this a little bit as well. And even into the black, you see? So now it's starting to lighten slightly, isn't it? Can you see that? Isn't that lovely? So we are getting there slowly. And it's nice to, you know, for a change, just a bit, for me to be able to take my time and show you all of this without kind of skipping and rushing along, as I normally would on my YouTube tutorials. So, but this is wonderful now, being able to just take my time at my own pace and do this. So, you know, because I'm taking my time now, there may be more than one video on this. There may even be 3 videos. I don't know. We'll see how it goes, but it will be worth it because I want you to be able to sit down, relax, and take your time with videos and take your time with your own painting. I don't want you picking up my bad habits and rushing through paintings. So like, this is how I would normally paint. Now if I was sitting down at home myself, this is how I would normally paint. I just sit here, take my time, and I almost sometimes, in fact, I almost pretend that I'm talking to you guys out there, and I chat away to myself like an old madman, chatting away, and as if you're sitting right next to me. But sure, look, it could be a lot worse, couldn't it? Come on. It'd be worse if I was talking to my dog or something like that, wouldn't it? Now a little bit of blue, a little bit of white, and I'm just going to soften again over here, down in to that blue, just a little there, look. It's a little bit harsh, isn't it? And then I'm going to take a little shadow colour. There's a shadow coming down here in this here, isn't it? A little bit of a shadow in the splash. And then I'm going to lighten it then again with some white and a hint of blue. I'll start lightening it with that colour first. So basically what I'm trying to show you is, don't just go from a very dark to a very bright suddenly, like this, when painting shadows and waves and that type of thing. Try to kind of graduate it slightly as you go along, and then it gets really bright. Now I'm still going along with darks here, it's still a bit dark. I know I should lighten it somewhat. So let me just pick up some white there now. And let's go over here and start flicking some white outwards as well, yes? There we are. Now let me just sit back again, take a look at this. So now it's coming along, it's a work in progress. It's all about this big wave in the centre, that's what it's all focused on, you see. Now I want to soften just slightly around the edge of that there, because I don't want it to look like 2 completely separate parts of the painting again. I want it to sort of merge slightly together, but not too much. But I do want it to sort of merge slightly together. Okay, there we are. So like for instance here now, this looks very sharp to me, so I'm just going to gently wiggle the brush and join them together just ever so slightly, you see. That's all. Just like that. So you can still see the dark, but it's not completely gone. Okay, let me see. We'll continue up here with some of this nice bright white. So I think now maybe just white on its own. Yes? And I'll start over here, look. And let's get a lot of this white in. So we have a lot of splash coming up here. And even at the edges, you see, look, you could sort of flick it upwards to give it some movement, and that's showing the direction of the water as well. There we are. And then I'm going to soften it down, soften it in here and there. Okay, we're following, and we have a nice bright kind of a white coming along here, don't we? Like so. And we have a nice bright sort of a white over here as well, coming down like that. And in a moment then I want to get to my really bright colours. So for instance, like here, I'm just going to dab a couple just where it's really bright, so the sun is really catching those. And again, I'll go along. Let's take a hint of blue actually, and I come down in here with a hint of lights as well. They're kind of breaking up as they come down into this. Okay, like so. And let's even soften that slightly with our finger as well, see? So you don't necessarily have to use brushes all of the time as well. Okay? I keep sitting back now, I keep looking, have to keep looking at a distance, you see? You have to look at a distance to see what's going on. Now, this one comes right out far out here, doesn't it? So it comes out like that. And it's sort of in and out, in and out. Like so. Let's take some more of that, that's quite nice. Let's go up a little bit higher with this one. Look at that, right up into the sky. And then it goes back into sort of a shaded colour, a little bit too pink there, a little bit more blue. Okay, just at the back of the wave. There we go. Now, so I can have my colours laid in there now as I want, right? So I have them all in the places that I need. The next job now is to add some real bright highlights to all of this. Now I'm going to start first with, I think down in this corner here. First of all, actually what I might do is, just in this corner, I'm going to take a very small pointy brush, right? Now I think I'll zoom in for this. I think you want me to zoom in slightly for this. Okay, how's that? Good? Now, just down in this area in here, I want to get some nice rich shapes of the water in there. So I'm taking some blue. Now I need to get a better brush than this. This brush is not perfect by any means. Now, there we go. A nice soft pointy brush. And I'm going to go down here and start creating the water sort of getting rough. Okay, we get some more dark colour there. And what I might even do is take a nice rich green and put a couple of flicks of that colour here and there, like so. So I'm taking some blue and some yellow, adding a couple of little flicks of a rich green here and there, look. Okay. And I may even add some of that up here as well, and softening that into the shadows. Okay, just adding that little bit of depth in there. I know it probably needs to be a little bit darker just around here. There needs to be a little bit more shadow, doesn't there? So a bit more blue, just a little hint more of blue, and even a little bit more just down there, sort of dabbing it along here and there. Is that better? I think that's a bit better. And there's even a bit on the back end of this, you see, and there's a little, this one then goes right up into the wave up here. So you can see now how I'm just adding as I go. So you see, I thought I was finished already, but I wasn't. And soften all that in there. So now we're getting places, aren't we? So let's next, let me see. Okay, I'm going to take my small flat again. I'm going to go into some white, and I'm going to create some layers. Some layers of different sections of splash. Okay, that's one. Clean the brush again, then start again. And let's put another one up here, like this, going out. And then we can put another one coming over here, like this, in front of that curling wave. So you can see now how I'm doing this close up. And we have another one that comes out here. It's all based on little circles, I find, when painting something like this. It's little circles. Let's take a little bit more white, and we'll go up here then, and we'll create one or two up there. Like so. And we take more again, and we come out here, do another one or two. So now you're beginning to see it coming together, aren't you? Okay, let me sit back here now and take a look at this. This is going to be very, very dramatic, I think. It's going to be a very dramatic scene when it's finished. I think it's going to be really, really eye-catching, because we're going to have lots of bright foam here now in just a moment. The next thing I'm going to do is take some white, and what I'm going to do is just dab along this line here with some of the white to create some bright foam and splash there, okay? And then I'm going to add some shadow over there, a little bit of brown, a little bit of blue, a little bit of black. I'm going to add some shadow to this section here, soften it up, and let's just soften it across gently. Can you see this? You can. Soften it across gently. And let it sort of disappear. Okay, then clean the brush again very quickly, pick up some white, and then let's create some more little bits of splash and different layers in front of that one then. Bring it across. See? You follow that? And let's put another little one here in front. Again, I'm cleaning my brush all of the time to keep it nice and clean. There we go. Now, that's a nice bright little section in there, isn't it? I think the next thing I should do now is get in the dark colour of the rock. I want to just get the colour in, and that will help me then with the composition. Just help me gauge what I'm doing. Look at colours. Take a hint of Naples yellow in this. Okay, just a hint. Let's just roughly fill it in. Perhaps even a hint of white. Might not go astray. A bit of white in there. As it comes across, I'll take a bit more black. There we go. Then bring it right down. Come right down then, all the way. Now I'm just making sure my camcorder is still recording there. I don't want any more hiccups in this, because I couldn't bear and start all of this again. Okay, now, so we have our rock put in. Let's just take a bit of black and let's just add a little bit of black here and there. So it's kind of in the shadow inside here, isn't it? And also at the back here it's in shadow as well. So I put in more black back there. So yeah, a little bit of black going along in there like that. Then I move on to my small pointy brush and I take just black on its own and I'll go along this line in here. Just get that really dark, because that then will show off this lovely bright turquoisey colour that we have. You see? Now, another thing I want to do is, well actually before I do move on, let's just create some of the ridges and the cracks in some of the rock, okay? Just with some black, nothing else. Water down with a little bit of turpentine. Okay, just like this, you see? Create some texture on the rock. A bit more black again. Let's darken it back here. So we have another fresh layer in front of it then. And let's put a big dark kind of a crack in here. And then what I'm going to do is, and this is where tinting comes into play. This is where you might hear the word tinting in painting. So what I'm going to do is basically add a hint of this turquoisey colour to the rock. Okay? It's going to be a very pale grey kind of a green. So I'm just going to add a hint of this. You see, it's a very pale kind of a green to the rock here and there. And that will give you the impression of the reflection from that turquoise. Now I do want to make the turquoise a little bit richer. I think it needs to be a little richer, don't you? It's still a bit, I'll just say, it's a little bit pale for me. I would like it a little bit more on the rich side. So I'm going to make it a bit richer. I'll just mix some blue and some yellow together. It really, really does, I think. It's just a little bit too subtle for me still. I like rich colours. I don't like very plain, subtle sort of colours. And I think it will show as well in your painting. What I find with a lot of students and a lot of people who would be starting off painting, even on my Facebook page, I would find that a lot of the shadows are not dark enough, and it makes the entire painting look very sort of flat and lifeless. You need to have very strong shadows, I think, in painting to really show off the lights, and it really gives it some life as well, some real, you know. That's just an observation. Do remember, try and make your shadows nice and dark. It's easier to, you know, it's much better to darken at the beginning. You can always lighten them if you need to later on. Now I'm going to mix some yellow into that, a little white, and then I'm going to put that colour in next to that, soften it in, soften it down. Now is that a bit better? Isn't that a bit more powerful colour wise to look at? Doesn't it just catch your eye that bit more, I think? Yes? Now you can, if you want, just soften that, even just use your fan brush, look. Soften that down. There we go, all softened together. And then simply just redefine your black line on the rock. That's all you have to do. Okay? Get some black and refine that line. Now, there, how's that? We then have a slightly lighter line coming up here. Okay, and it sort of disappears then up into the rest of the rock. And I'm going to add a little bit of light blue just here and there to the top of that rock to suggest some reflection from the waves. That's all it is. Okay? Now, you sit back and take a look at this. Yeah, that's not bad. I'm pretty happy with that. The next stage I want to do is I want to create a sort of a kind of a peppered look on that rock. I'm simply going to take some brown and some black, okay, and I'm just going to, with my rough brush look all stuck out, I'm just going to dab here and there, and that gives you that sort of smooth kind of peppered look. Do you know the way you get some round rocks, very smooth rocks, they look like there's little specks on them? Well, this will give you that kind of peppered look. Alright? And then we could do the same even with some lighter colour. Let's try some Naples yellow. Go up here and try some Naples yellow and add some lights here and there. Okay? Now, you see that's a bit better now, isn't it? Okay, let's zoom back a little and let's now get some really bright splash up there on our water. I think I'm going to just stick with a fan brush for this, just for now, yes? Let's take some white, load it up, and let's go up here now and just dab with your fan brush, and then allow it to sort of soften back down into the wave, you see? And you can even go off as well, add a few little dabs outside of the wave. Let me just give that a really good clean now, because I seem to have a few little bits of brown on it here and there. Now let's go along there and soften that in as well. So now you can really begin to see the bright coming out, can't you? Now it's really beginning to shine. Okay, you can go up here and add a couple of little bits of it there, like so. Okay, now let's sit back again. Now is it not coming on? You see, I told you at the very end that it would all make sense. And I just go along, it sort of disappears now off into the kind of shaded area over here, doesn't it? So I'm going to soften it down very gently just here and there. Okay, like that. Sit back again. That's quite nice, I'm liking that. And let's go here, yes? Let's go here with the sky, just on that side. And what I'm going to do now is add a hint of Naples yellow to the mix, and that's really going to give it some sparkle. Watch this. Okay, lots of thick paint now on my fan brush, and go over here with that colour and give that a little bit of sparkle. Okay, just hits it here and there on that side. I'm going to soften this down. Okay, I'm dabbing with my finger, you see, you can even soften it with your finger as well. Now, let me stop for a moment. That's really nice. I'm very, very happy with this. And we have a hint of that bright yellowy colour around here too, look. So you see now that really brings it out, doesn't it? And let me see, okay, a little bit here. I need to make this a little splashier, so to speak. So look, add a little few hints of that splash into the brown. So it's sort of merging in front of it, isn't it? And clean your brush after you do this. You do not want to be bringing brown into your white splash. Do you understand? Now let me see, we could go up and add a little, maybe a little bit here and there, just on the top, because it will catch the light somewhere up there as well. And a little few bits here and there. And then dab again, dab with your finger, look, just dab it together with your finger. And a lot of this now really as well, I suppose, it's kind of trial and error, isn't it? Because you don't know how it's going to turn out, you really don't. I don't know how this is going to turn out. Luckily it's turned out okay so far. I'm not happy with this section here in the middle, so I might just go along and soften it down. Let me see now. I might take a little bit of blue and some white and just bring some blue down here and there with that one, just along the top of the rock. Okay, just like that. Let me see, there's a little bit of that blue which is quite nice coming along in here. So yes, it's all coming on very, very nicely now, isn't it? A little bit over here, just to create some rough kind of area over here as well. And then, what you could do is with your very small pointy brush, nice and clean, let's go and pick up some of that white. And let's just add little tiny specks here and there, just to emphasize bits of the splash flying off of this into the air. See? And again over here. We won't overdo this, but just a little here and there, and even a little going into the rock here as well, look. And perhaps as well we will have some kind of coming down here onto that rock. There, isn't that nice? So, how is this looking so far? Let me check my time on the camera and see how we're doing. Okay, we have 20 minutes left. I think I'll have time just to do this little section in front here, and we'll call this part 1. Finished, finito. Let's take some brown and some black, and let's go in here and paint in this rock, okay? Now paint this right in, all the way. Just add a little tops to your brush if it's a bit dry, okay? Just a little tops. And then we'll take our smaller brush, we clean that, make sure there's no green or anything like that on the smaller brush. Let's take some black, and let's go with some nice black over on this side here, across the front. And let me see now, we have a couple of little ridges here, like so. Okay, then I'll move to my light colour with my little round brush and add some light into that. Just a bit of white with some burnt umber. Okay, just like so. Maybe add a touch of blue as well to this, would be nice. Yeah, I think that might look a bit more natural. Okay, just like so. Now, there we are, another nice little rock done. We can add lots of little things to this now as well as we go, but we don't need to right now. Let's just concentrate for now on filling in this little shaded area. It's just nice and subtle. Let's take some white with a little blue and a little black, and let's just come down and fill this in. So that white and the blue with the black will make a lovely bluey green. Do you understand? That's why I love using phthalo blue. It gives a beautiful, natural kind of a greeny grey sort of a hue. It really, really does. It's beautiful. You should try it. Now I'm going to soften it up into that colour there. Okay, soften it up like so. And then let's start adding a few darks here and there. Now let's take some blue, a hint of black, and let's add a little bit of that colour. Because it's in behind the rock here, it's going to be shady, okay? It's going to be kind of dull and dark. It's not going to be very bright. So look, I'm just kind of wiggling the brush around just a bit, and then I'm going to clean the brush and start picking up little bits of light colour. So blue with a bit of white, and then I'm going to just start putting that in on the left hand side. Okay? And my next step will be to take some, let's see, take a hint of white, and let's just make some sort of ripples coming down. So the water is really kind of running right down in here into this little area. Isn't that lovely? And the final step, with your fan brush, you could just add a little dab of foam here and there, look. A little splash. Even up on the rock, look, you see? Isn't that wonderful? And then just refine that little bit of a rock just there, okay? Just refine it. There we go. And there we are. I think that's part one finished. Finito, my friends. Done. Done and dusted. Let me just take some black, because I must refine some of this rock here. This is a real kind of a centerpiece in the painting, and I just want to refine some of the rock. I don't want to just let it be lost. I don't want to allow this to be lost. I want this to be proud and stand tall in front of everyone and say, look at me. I'm the one that caused all of this. So I'm just going to pick out the dark shaded area in there. And that, my friends, will be the end of that. So with that, I bid you a very, very good evening. Let me zoom in quickly now and show you how we have created this. Just with simple steps, look at that. Isn't that just very dramatic? Isn't it wonderful? I love it. Absolutely love it. So there, I only have about 50 seconds left recording time on this camera. I'll be getting a new SD card, I think, my friends. A new SD card. Thank you so much for watching. Part 2 coming up very, very soon. I'm just going to let that dry a little bit before I can add some proper highlights in the next video. Do let me know what you think. Show me how you're getting on. I'd love to see your progress. Thank you so much for your support and for watching. I hope you like this. I will see you very soon, okay? I will charge my camera and I will get back at it straight away. Yes, you might be waiting 1 or 2 days for part 2, but I'm sure it'll be worth the wait. God bless, my friends. Thank you so much, and I'll see you very soon.